What up, folks? I'm ultrazillatoys. Today I have a review of the Creature Preacher, the last dinosaur, the T-Rex. That's I don't know what he's calling it, but that's what it is. This is a 3D printed Last Dinosaur T-Rex. Yes, it's also been in a Tokusatsu Eisenberg dinosaur attack planet thing. I forget what it's called. It's Eisenberg. And this was Emperor Tyrannus in that. It was also in another Tokusatsu, which name escapes me after that. But those are the two that are, like, most well-known for this particular suit. This suit has always been really interesting to me. When I first saw it, like, ever, I thought it was a decrepit version of Gorosaurus that they just kept using, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't. It was a brand new thing, and at that time, when The Last Dinosaur came out, which I only saw in the past few years, to be honest, finally. I've always known about it, but I've only seen it, you know, in the last few years. And ever since then, I definitely wanted this in my collection. Cut to Creature Preacher, who I reviewed the Crater Lake Monster last year that he did. You know, I picked that one up. I was like, oh, this is awesome. First saw it on our pal Andy's dinosaur reviews. And, you know, I was like, you know what? I want one of those too. So I got one. And ever since then, I've been meaning to get something. I was going to get this guy from him at the end of last year. But then, like, you know, funds were a little tight. It's around Christmas time, so I couldn't really do it. But then recently he contacted me and he was like, hey, do you want to review something? And I was like, sure, you know, and he's like, whatever you want. I was like, awesome, man. I was like, I would love to review this guy because, you know, I wanted to get him. So here it is. He sent it over. Thank you, Creature Preacher. So without any further ado, let's get to the review. So let's start things off with size comparisons this time. This is the Crater Lake Monster that he did, which I think came out really, really awesome. So this is their size scale, which I think is pretty good. Here it is with the Hammond Triceratops, which I also think is pretty good because there was a Triceratops in the movie that it fights. Or was it a Stegosaurus? No, I think it was Triceratops. And yeah, this is cool. And last but not least, here it is with the Godzilla. So you can see he's kind of a big guy for, you know, this type of scale. Actually, let's do one more because it would behoove me not to do a Kong because it's a T-Rex, you know what I'm saying? And here it is with the NECA Kong, and that is pretty cool. He's like the biggest Kong, you know, in this kind of scale that there is, and I think that works pretty well. So the sculpt on this guy is really, really nice. But I'm prefacing this before we get into the fine details here. The sculpt is really nice, and I'm doing so because, you know, if you saw my Vlogzilla a couple of Vlogzillas ago, I talked about my integrity as a reviewer, and, you know, even though somebody sends me something for review, it doesn't stop me from reviewing it. You know what I'm saying? I do feel like, you know, the paint could be better on this guy. It has a couple other issues. Also, one issue that I had was that his foot cracked. Now, I super glued it on the bottom, which made a little bit of a mess of super glue on the bottom. I'm going to have to paint that over a little bit there if I want to. It's on the bottom. I don't really care that much. But yeah, you know, and he was really, really well wrapped. I'll say that. And it still broke so on the foot, which was a little bit of a bummer to see. However, like I'm saying, you know, I feel like the paint in certain spots here could be a little bit better. And there's, you know, some other issues that, to me, I feel like shouldn't be. Like, there is, like, hair in a lot of spots. You see that? You know, some of it could be just fibers and stuff from, like, the print. But it's not, like, cleanly done. And I'm mentioning this also because this Crater Lake that he did is really nice. The paint is really nice on this. I had no issue like that. It's just very, very solid. He did an amazing job on that. And I'm not sure if there's like a, you know, this was rushed because I know he's got a lot of conventions coming up and stuff. And, you know, it is what it is. But I definitely want to mention it. The base paint on this guy is pretty cool. It's gray, and then there's some like nice highlights that he did, you know, which is pretty awesome. I really like that, you know, but I feel like the print could be a little bit cleaner. And I do appreciate that it is, you know, I do understand it's a 3D printed thing. It is what it is. But, you know, bring this guy in again. This guy is amazing. It's really well done. Maybe it's just because the texture of it is more conducive to it. But you can see a lot of the, you know, the print strokes on this one. He did have a lot of nice texture on the back here, which is cool. Very interesting looking. On the back there, a lot of really good sculpt though throughout. Like the feet are sculpted well, and as you can see, the nail paint is not the best. I know he was talking about, you know, some paints not working as great as before, but at the same time, yeah, I feel like the nails could be painted a lot better. Again, the sculpt on them is really nice. I do like it. Duo claw again there, but it's not painted very well. Sculpt is pretty good throughout. Stomach looks good. The tail is awesome. I really like the shape of the tail. I think this is a really nice, you know, job here on the tail. Very well done. You know, the end is a bit rough, but I think the tail is pretty good. And he's got the little arms that look really cool. Again, you can see some of that lighter paint on there, which is very neat. I like it. You know, again, you got some fiber on the nails here. So, it is what it is. Neck is pretty nice. Really nice folding wrinkles there. I love his head. The head sculpt is really cool, you know, like, so unique. The paint inside the mouth is really good. That is cool. And the teeth, you know, the teeth aren't perfect. However, I think they're pretty decent because of, you know, it's gonna be like gnarly. You know what I'm saying? There's like one tooth here that doesn't look painted, but I'm not sure about that. Well, it's not painted like the rest, at least. This one right there, he's got like a gray tooth there. But yeah, it's not bad. The eyes aren't bad either, you know. And when you zoom in, maybe a tad better. It's really the nail and the, you know, the toenails that is the most glaring. Yeah, this eye could be painted a little bit better. So, you know, I like the inside of the mouth. That looks really good. Sculpt-wise, it's really cool. It really is. I do wish, I don't know if he does include a stand with this, but a little stand for his tail would probably be really good for this, you know, for future sales. There you go. That's pretty good. You know, you just need a little bit of lift, I think, on this guy. Otherwise, he's just sitting back on his tail. I don't know. I kind of like that. That's the Creator Lake Monster's tail. But overall, you know, I gotta say, I'm still really happy with this because I have it. I have one. I have a Last Dinosaur T-Rex, and I really like this monster, and there's really like not much of this out there. You know, there's some old Safubi stuff, and that's it. So this is very cool in those terms. You know, like I think it's very, very awesome. You know, I just wish it was a little more refined on some spots. And the paint on, you know, the toenails especially could be a little cleaner. But otherwise, it's pretty neat, I have to say. So, yeah, I dig it. I dig it. I could still dig it for sure. And my final thoughts, I pretty much said it all already, right? Sculpt is awesome. Sculpt is really good. I think Creature Preacher really captured this dumpy T-Rex from the movie that I really love. So I'm really, really happy to have it. So, honestly, thank you for sending this over for a review. You know, it's really, really cool to have. I do think, and, you know, I'll say it again, some of the paint feels rushed here. You know, it's a little bit sloppy in spots, and, you know, there's some cleanup issues here, too. So, you know, my advice to Creature Preacher would be slow it down, you know, make sure to check over this stuff you know, before you send your stuff out, because I think you're doing an awesome job, and I think you got a real future doing this. So, This is awesome. Do check out his shop. He's got a lot of awesome stuff there that he's already worked on, and a lot of cool ideas coming down the pike. And do check him out at All Monsters Attack. I believe he's going to be at that show. And there you go, guys. That is my review. Hope you dug it. Let me know your thoughts down below. And if you could please like, comment, subscribe, share. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram. Stay safe. Till next time. Peace out, peeps.